Welcome to SUPERA. We're a podcast, video podcast, every week at this point with Castro Realty Group and Nebraska Realty. We are glad to be hosted this time today by Protectors Insurance in their facility. But I'm honored to have here one of the leaders of the Latino Economic Development Council, Arturo Aceves. Welcome, Arturo.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. I'm Dr. Arturo Aceves Gonzaliez. I'm the head of Health Equity and Economic Opportunity for the Latino Economic Development Council.
Arturo, Latino Economic Development Council. Mm-hmm. Could you explain to the public a little bit about what it means and what it brings to the community?
Yeah, of course. So the Latino Economic Development Council was created in 2021 through the pandemic. Some of the funders and current leaders, they were not only leaders in their industries, but they're also business owners. And they saw the struggles that the pandemic did towards a lot of the businesses, and them having all of the resources being connected with the community, like local, state, and federal aids, they were still struggling. So they could only imagine how all of the small organizations, small businesses could be even struggling. So what they wanted to do is to ensure that there was equitable access to all of these organizations, all of these resources for those small businesses, so they could actually thrive through those really hard times. That's how it was funded. That was in 2021. And then in 2023, we became a nonprofit organization. One of the co-founders and leaders turned into our current CEO, and her name is Itzel Lopez. The other two main funders are Armando Salgado and Marcos Mora, and we have an incredible board to a lot of other leaders that decided to aid on the creation of this organization. Ricardo Castro is one of our board members. And yeah, we exist to assist individuals, especially marginalized communities, specifically the Latino community, to ensure that all of the resources that we have in our communities are equitably accessed to all.
Can I correctly say, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the LEDC started trying to serve and help the Latino business community, mm-hmm. but now is basically evolving in a way that is helping the overall community through that issue, through helping the business sector. Is that right?
100%, yes. So some of the initiatives are replicable and for other marginalized communities as well. And also the things that we're trying to do, some of the initiatives that we're trying to do are not just they're mainly focused on the Latino community, but everyone can access to those resources. We're just trying to make sure that all of those resources are available to everyone, to know that they exist and that they have easy access to them.
Easy access. That's a word we were talking about in the previous conversation before this one. That information is a key word to evolve and to raise a family or to have a presence in any aspect in life. And there's resources. There are resources available. There are programs available. There's help available, or there's opportunity available. And sometimes we don't get that information. We are not informed. I'm glad to be part of the board of trustees of the LEDC. I was invited by itself a couple of years ago. But basically, in the day-to-day basis, it's Arturo and Itzel and their team. It's not easy. I'm sure it's not easy. But tell us, maybe we can explain a little bit the good and the difficult of doing the duties that you guys are doing.
Of course. When we talk about accessibility, like the main focus, especially for the Hispanic community or the Latino community, is language barriers. That's one of the biggest issues, one of the biggest things that we are working towards, just to ensure that people actually have the information in their language, not in the language that they understand, but in their language. So that is a huge compromise that we have towards our community, just to ensure that people actually understand and they can access to these resources, knowing what they're going to be signing, knowing what they're consenting to. And now with everything that's happening in our community, what happened on June 10th, we know that this is crucial. People actually knowing what they're signing, people actually knowing what is available, and that they can actually read it in their language it's a huge part of our work. That's, I would say, one of the biggest and most wonderful things that we're doing right now.
And Arturo is a proof that when the opportunities are taken and you improve a lot, Arturo's English is his second language as mine, but he speaks it almost, in my opinion, perfectly. And he's been in this country way less years that I've been living here. And I'm sorry that I had to mention that, but I'm surprised about the perfectionism of your skills. And thank you. But opportunities like that, and it's not only sometimes translating, right? It's understanding the system.
100%.
All right, and sometimes we don't believe as immigrants that the opportunities that are out there.
Yeah, and I completely agree. That's a really great point, because a lot of individuals, what we want to push, the narrative that we want to push is that, for example, in the way that I came to this country and the opportunities that I had, I understand all of the privilege that I had compared to a lot of the individuals that migrate or come with another immigration status, refugees or asylum seekers. Like there were a lot of opportunities that I was able to access that a lot of people don't have. And that's how I had the opportunity to increase my communication skills and make my English as proficient as it is right now. I appreciate the compliment, but I know I have my accent, and a lot of individuals have their accent, but that doesn't decrease the knowledge that you have, the professionalism, the expertise that you have in a specific area. So that's the narrative that we want to pass to. If you give an opportunity to an individual, you don't know how many doors you're going to be opening for them. You don't know how many opportunities you're going to be able to provide and what is going to mean for their careers. So I was telling in another conversation, Ricardo, I'm a general physician. I was practicing medicine in my country. Then I moved here, and the language barrier cut me completely. I wasn't able to have a conversation, to go through an interview. I wasn't even able to communicate with my 7-year-old nephew. And that is a very basic lexicon. So if I couldn't even do that, I wasn't able to make sure that people actually understood my value. I knew my value, but I wasn't able to communicate that. So a lot of the opportunities that were there, I wasn't able to access them. So it takes people to actually recognize your talents and give you an opportunity, make a connection, and open doors that otherwise they wouldn't be able to be open.
And Latino Economic Development Council plays a role in that specific aspect as well. Mm-hmm. It's bringing the resources and the information to the public, but conveying the information in a proper way so that people can understand it. Because I can get a lot of information from different channels, but I don't know what to do with them, mm-hmm. or I don't trust them. I have a specific example that happened to myself. I studied and got my license as a realtor. Mm-hmm. My first year, I had a full-time job doing something else. The first year, I was selling houses in a part-time basis, but I didn't buy a house for myself. I used to rent at the time while I was selling houses. And one of the main, I was trying to sell houses. I was learning to sell houses actually, but because my production was minimum. But what I'm saying is, I was blessed to have a college education in Peru, mm-hmm. and I was blessed to know a little English, basic English when I came, mainly grammar. But at the same time, I was blessed to have the opportunity to get my real estate license selling houses. But I thought, this is too easy. Mm-hmm. Buying a house is that easy that I didn't trust the process. Mm-hmm. And I felt bad at the same time. I'm selling houses, but I don't want to buy a house yet because I don't trust it. You see, there's a catch. There might be a catch out there. That's why this thing looks too easy. So I'm just trying to convey to the public who are not immigrants what we are facing. It's not the language at that point. It's now I need to understand, and someone needs to guide me to understand the system. Mm-hmm. Right? There are opportunities out there. some people say, oh, wait, well, they are not there, they don't want to take it. Well, maybe they don't trust. That's why we are not taking them. And thanks to your work, Itzel, and the rest of the people at Latino Economic Development Council, what news you have for us? Because I know there's a big plan, a big project that Latino Economic Development Council is bringing for South Omaha.
Yes, indeed. So we were awarded $25 million to revitalize the South Omaha Business District, specifically the 24th Strip. We know that we have dozens of businesses there that are thriving, and we want to continue that. We want to continue helping those businesses thrive. And one of the ways that we are promoting that and ensuring that there is an access to public spaces that facilitate the integration of culture, but culture from everywhere. Because when we talk about Latinos, sometimes we just think about like we're all brown people. That's all it is. But we have to understand that we have very different nationalities. We have very different accents. We also have very different ways of communicating, ways of expressing ourselves. We have indigenous communities. We are Afro-descendants. We are also individuals from the LGBTQIA2S+ community. So we want to make sure that everyone feels like there is a safe space where they belong and that our roots are celebrated, are acknowledged, but also celebrated. So there's an opportunity for us to bring that money into Plaza La Raza. So we're going to be revitalizing. We were awarded this money so we can create that opportunity where we're creating a space, a public space where people can actually come walk towards. If you're living in South Omaha, you can actually walk to. There's an opportunity to see other individuals who are not only going to be sharing your culture, but could be speaking the same language as you, and that gives an opportunity for us to connect. It provides an opportunity when we celebrate our culture. It brings individuals to our spaces, and that creates the proximity between individuals from this nationality, from that nationality, and it creates an opportunity for them to try new things that otherwise they wouldn't have access to. So we had something similar happening in World Refugee Day, where we invited different nationalities to try different foods and learn about different cultures. Now we're going to have a space that was once a year. Now we're going to have a space where that's going to happen every single year. And it's going to be an affordable space for individuals, because it's a free space. It's something that people can just go to and not having to worry about, okay, I have 5 people in my family. I have my grandma, I have my mom, I have my children, I have my wife. I have to think about all of this budget in order for us to just enjoy a Sunday. So we have a space now that we're creating to ensure that people can just go and enjoy and celebrate their culture and connect with other individuals who are like-minded and enjoy and celebrate their roots.
So basically, Plaza La Raza, which is a parking lot, for the South Omaha people, we recognize that parking lot as a plaza. And it hosted so many events, so many gatherings from different topics. I mean, all the way to the Mexican celebration of Cinco de Mayo or independence, all the way to even a place where we rally together for different causes. And Latino Economic Development Council is going to allocate resources from that grant. Is that a grant?
Yep.
To build a better place for everybody. Basically, that's what you're saying, right?
Exactly. Yes, indeed.
Everybody. So it's going to be open not only for South Omaha. It's going to open for the public in general, for Omaha, to come, enjoy, share with us, and also help the business community in South 24th Street and our surrounding areas, right?
Indeed, yeah. So what we saw with downtown is that when the creation of Jean Lehimo happened and it was open, it increased the foot traffic and all of the surrounding businesses just started thriving crazy. So one of the things, like what we said, we're the Economic Development Council. We want to ensure that all of the businesses, because of the increased foot traffic that's going to be happening in the surrounding areas, it's only going to impact in a big and good way to the businesses that are already in South Omaha.
Arturo, thank you very much for what you do on a daily basis with the Latino Economic Development Council, and also with the communication that is being exchanged with the public and all the other organizations, because I know there's a lot of input coming from different corners, which is good.
Yes, indeed. And if you guys have any questions, if there's any input that you guys would like us to considerate, we're trying to make this space as accessible as it can be. So it's a space for everyone, so everyone gets to chip in. So if there's are questions, if there's input, please feel free to reach out. We're more than happy to meet, have a phone call, email, or whatever method of communication you'd prefer.
Arturo Aceves, Latino Economic Development Council. Check them out in social media. They're pretty active there. That you can see what's going on. You can see what they are doing, and feel free to contact them and ask questions. Thank you, Arturo. One more time. Thank you very much. Ricardo Castro, Castro Realty Group, SUPERA Podcast. And here we are. Check us out online too.